Roll call, please.
Mr. Kyler?
Here.
Mr. Condit?
Here.
Mr. Molina,
Here.
Mr. Substed?
Here. Mr. Walker is excused tonight. Approval of meeting minutes for March 10th, 2015.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call on approval of minutes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Substed?
Yes.
Mr. Kyler?
Yes.
Amendments to the agenda.
Have one. It's resolution 25-2015. It's a resolution to accept the resignation from the Reminderville Police Department and revoke the Police Commission of Carrie Lauer and declaring an emergency, which we can't do, so. First reading.
That'll just go to first reading tonight.
Second read this in. We have a letter from a citizen. It's
Hold on.
We need a second.
I need a second and a roll
To
call.
amend the agenda.
Second.
Roll call on amending the agenda.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Substed?
Yes.
Mr. Kyler?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Is that letter?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait to do that. I don't wanna do that right now. Okay? And everybody's got a copy of that. Okay, we'll go into reports. Mayor did not leave me a written report. He is, him and I have a meeting with Don Johnson from Kimball on April 10th at 10 a.m. to discuss his proposal for the new contract. And he is also setting up to get the street sweeper out here to get the roads cleaned up from winter. I don't know how soon we're going to be doing that, but because we're still expecting snow and salt, we don't want to do that until we're sure winter's over. But he's at least getting it scheduled. Mr. Carpenter?
Tonight when I came in, I received a certified mailing. It was a lawsuit against the village. We were named as a party in a foreclosure. They're not asking for any money from us. We're just named because they owe us money. However, I did ask that Ms. Task send that, or at least contact our insurance company, put them on notice, see whether they are going to handle it. I doubt that they are. They typically do not in matters where there's no money demand from us as a party, so I'll probably be handling that. But I really haven't looked at the complaint. I just got it tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Carpenter. Mr. Essler?
Yes, sir. Liberty alleges Phase 4 submitted a minor revision to the plan as requested the Planning Commission. They pulled the subdivision off of the property line, and that was really about the minor adjustment as needed. We've met with Metro Parks, we've met with the City of Twinsburg about utilizing the service road there as emergency access, and they don't have a problem with it. So now, I think the developer will be getting confirmation from the Army Corps and that there are no wetland issues on this before they move forward, but right now, we will finalize. We are gonna have a meeting with Metro Parks to talk about the extension of the bike trails into Reminderville.
Gene, on the original plan when we talked about where they were going to put that emergency access
Yeah.
road, that was like going to tie into the trailhead. Now that they've moved it further west, how does that affect the trail?
Well, the Metro Parks, that is a service road, not a trailhead. They actually wanted it to minimize the amount of road that is necessary, so we moved it down. People will be walking that, but they're actually talking about coming off of the off those trails and providing a trail into this area. So that's what we're meeting with Metro Parks to figure out the actual walking trail that would go here, that would give access to the residents.
Okay.
But, yeah, we wanted to minimize, because that is just a small service road there.
I thought that trail came down, ran parallel to that service road further east.
No, it does not.
Okay,
But we're gonna work with them, and they're gonna tie us into the trail system.
okay.
They've also, one thing the parks request is they put like a little split rail, so that wouldn't be so many points of access onto, and, they wouldn't have 100 or 30, 40 trails, so they did show that on the plan, so that's where I was flying. California submitted to small governments, we did receive plans for the, phase 8 of Harrington, which we'll start reviewing. Senior apartments have broken ground and, we reviewed the clearing limits and made sure everything was on the property and there are no trees off the property removed.
Now that it's finally been started, what was the kind of time frame that we're looking at as far as construction?
Oh, it'll be all summer, it'll be all summer.
I figured it'd be a little while, I just was curious.
Yeah, I would think it would be a good 6 months. Try to look for a fall opening.
And I do have a contact email if you talk to any residents that want more information. Stacy has it also, but it's DANTHon@clovergroupinc.com, and the contact's name is Dave. So if anybody's looking for more information.
Can you say the first part of that?
Yes.
Sorry.
Say the whole thing again.
DANTHON
It'll be in the minutes.
at Clover, CLOVER Group Inc., all one word, .com.
And lastly, construction began on Regatta and Windjammer. We had a water main break because the water main had shown on clean water plans. They did not show that it was a 90-degree bend. And when they were constructing the new main, the shoring came out under the 90-degree and it broke there. So they're fixing that now, but the plans supplied by Clean Water were incorrect. So we're working around that issue right now.
Is there any repercussions around something like that?
We're gonna have to make special provisions to get by this area. But, you know,
I can say no,
I don't,
just wondering.
I don't know.
Okay. Gotcha. Also, when's the trail on Liberty starting? Should they be kicking off here pretty soon?
That has not been bid. They did take down bat trees.
Right, yeah, I was gonna say, I could have sworn it.
Yeah, they did take some trees down, but the actual contract for the trail has not been bid.
And Twinsburg's bidding that?
Yes.
Is the bid out there or
No, not yet. It'll be bid out and, just going through the final stage 3, and submitted on that for final approval.
Oh, good? Really?
Yeah.
He told me it was gonna be an hour.
No.
Oh, good. I have some information on the service department. I don't know if anyone or any of these are aware, our new truck, the big snowplow, the frame is cracked in a minimum of 3 places. Jedco, the truck manufacturer, and another entity are all looking it over, trying to point fingers, and right now they're pointing at us. But do you have any updates on it? As we get updates, I'll let you know. Service department is also looking to get rid of some outdated equipment, stuff we don't use, can't use. One of the items is the old fire department Medic 1 that's sitting out here in the parking lot. We don't have, there is an online auction site that we've used in the past, and I spoke to the mayor about it. So Mr. Scafidi is working on getting a list together. I did go up to the old pump house with Chris. There's some stuff up there that can be auctioned. As the list is accumulated, I'll get it presented to all of us here. Also, another issue we have, you're all aware that our bucket truck will not pass state inspection and is not safe. Twinsburg is in the process of purchasing a new one. Theirs will be for sale, and I asked Sam to check with the township to see if the JED wants to purchase that one, and then we could auction off that vehicle too, if we decide to go that route, if Twinsburg's makes the deal worthwhile. But that truck, the actual bucket, the fiberglass bucket is cracked, and there's no stabilizer arms to keep the truck stable when they're using the bucket. It's just an old piece of equipment. And then,
Do you know if you could replace the actual bucket?
the whole, it's not, because the truck doesn't have
Have the
the
outrigger.
feet that come out to keep it from tipping when the bucket's up.
Gotcha.
Chris is the only one that'll go in it, and he probably shouldn't be doing that. And then this is, this last thing pertains to the entire village. And I was gonna have Deborah talk about it, but she's not here. Our insurance company sent in a company called HCC, and they do, basically a review of all your buildings and properties and location, and give suggestions on what you can do to improve the safety, like having an evacuation little map posted out here, so if there's a fire, people can go to the map and know, okay, I can go to the back door. They do fire extinguisher training, and the representative from HHC met with all the department heads, service, police, fire, and we'll get a final copy of their findings, which will also go to the insurance company. And that's all I have on the service department.
Any sneak peek, anything major?
In this building, they're asking for, get a list, an inventory of all the equipment, you know, computers, fax machines, anything that, you know,
Just in case
coffee
it-
pots.
In case
Just so
something
that-
did happen?
Yeah. We need to come up with a driving policy. When someone's driving a village vehicle, whether it's a fire truck, police car, snow plow, no texting, whatever, but we need to create a policy for that. Fire extinguisher training for employees, evacuation plan. And that's just a highlight of what they've talked about. It's very easy fixes for the most part.
I just wanna make sure.
Rec center, we have no report. Fiscal officer, the only thing, Deborah's resolution, or ordinance 13, it's at second reading, it says emergency, we do not need to pass that by emergency, that can go to third reading tonight. Police chief, the same thing with his resolution to revoke the commission, that will go to second reading. Because we don't have enough people here to suspend the rule for emergency passage. Fire chief, Chief Plunkett, no report. Architectural board of review.
Architectural Board of Review met last night. We approved 2 ducts and 1 dock. There was a 3rd duct that was a no-show, and we tabled it.
Do you require residents or someone to be there on all?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Either the owner or the contractor, if somebody.
okay.
And we even try to
We
place
call-
a call.
We call them and we'll wait if they say they're on their way.
What is the reason for not showing up? They didn't know they needed to be here?
I don't know, Mr. Rodick was
I'm
on.
pretty sure they're told, right? Terry's
Yeah,
has told us.
and normally when they do miss a meeting, that is what they say,
They haven't been told.
yeah.
Right.
And I think Terry may have added it to the guidelines too, just in case, but he doesn't.
It hasn't, it happened a lot more in the past. It's a rarity these days. So that's good.
I know back in the early 2000s when I was chairing, we had a lot of them. And sometimes it was a hassle trying to figure out what they were doing.
Right, and that's kind of why we made this a policy, because we got burned on it, you know, so.
Okay. Planning and zoning? Nothing at this time. Board of Zoning Appeals? No appeals, correct. Finance?
Finance met today at 6:30. We recommended payments in the amount of $334,138.29. $271,000 of that is the normal jet disbursement. The Finance Committee also recommended to get new bids for our cell phones. It's been discussed before, but we wanted to make it official. We feel that the price is too high, and if we can get them together, just whoever, our cell service, just get some new bids so we can get the price knocked out. So we made that recommendation to council.
Yeah. Just to expand on that, do you buy your cell phone separately? Or does the village purchase all the cell phones?
We have, the village has a Verizon account,
Yeah. I guess for some reason I thought maybe you would throw in yours for what you need for your department and she thought, no, got it.
Well,
You might pay
I
out
take
your
care of
budget
all
or
the
something.
fire department's fund as well as the mayor's fund.
Out of your
What the
budget.
police department does, I don't know, you know,
So then it is separate.
it is separate from police and service, yes.
Right.
Well, that's not true. The service department relies on me to do their, liaison type work with Verizon as well as the mayor. The only people I don't take care of is police.
So we made that recommendation as well, and that's it.
Thank you. Cable, no report. Communications?
Communications, we set up Sam doesn't know yet, but we've set up a time to interview Sam on the 14th of April. We hope to do it bi-yearly or maybe quarterly, an interview with Sam to kind of get what some of the folks in the village are wanting to know a little bit more about. And we'll video it and put it up on the website. And our next meeting is going to be April 6th at 7 o'clock up here at Village Hall.
I guess I'll bring this up now. Is there, I thought we discussed this before, but is there any reason why we don't videotape the finance meetings?
No?
Can we start doing that? That seems pretty easy. I don't think we need a committee to decide that.
I,
No, I don't think there's anything else.
but you're gonna videotape and then do what?
Put it same place. I don't know, same place
On
that
YouTube or
on YouTube, right?
Terry put the other ones?
Just so everybody can watch those, just like they do committee of the whole.
Well, does that mean you want to videotape everything, or do you just feel because it's before? Is there a specific reason, or you think there's been
Well, there's been a lot of chatter about
okay, no, I don't
stuff,
have a
so
problem.
I see no reason why it shouldn't be taped if we're taping the other stuff.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. Okay.
Long-term community development report. Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, we have our first event of the year coming up on April 4th. It's the Easter egg hunt at 1 o'clock next to the police station. We met last Wednesday. Our biggest topic of discussion was possible changes or additions to the Family Fun Day. And our next meeting will be April 22nd. Everybody's welcome to join us.
At what time? Or what time?
7 o'clock.
Thank you. Records?
Yep.
Seniors.
Seniors have breakfast tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Nicky and Smitty's. And their next lunch is Tuesday, April 14th at yours truly in Hudson.
And Jed.
No report.
Okay, we're going to legislation. Ordinance 13/2015, an ordinance to make appropriation and transfer adjustments for the 2015 village budget, second reading. Resolution 18/2015, a resolution to award the 2015 annual HVAC preventive maintenance contract to DeMarco and Associates LLC and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Question. No.
Yes,
Were you gonna?
go
I'm
ahead.
probably gonna ask. You were gonna answer what I was gonna ask.
Go ahead and
We're
ask.
still.
We're still gonna not
So we're
pass
just
it
gonna-
tonight. I have not gotten the bids, I know.
We
Well,
have some.
It'll need to be tabled or postponed.
Yeah, this will be tabled?
If you're not going to, it's at third reading, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't
If
know.
you're not gonna take action on it tonight,
But we don't know we're not gonna kill it, so we probably.
you don't want to
table
kill it,
it.
you're not
So we
gonna
can
take
just
action,
table
so
it.
you'll need to table it and postpone it.
Okay. So we'll table it tonight at, when it's read during the council meeting.
But you do have some requests out there.
Sam Scafidi has contacted companies. He's on vacation this week, so I did not get anything prior to him leaving last Thursday. So as of right now, I have nothing to present as options for this.
Well, we have 3 weeks until our next meeting.
And we do have an issue in here, the heat's not working in this room right now. We left the doors open all day and let the sun come in, and we were up to 72 at 6 o'clock, so,
It's 30 degrees now, we don't need heat.
yeah. Resolution 19, 2015, a resolution to approve the preliminary term sheet for the Village of Reminderville Recreation Center project, third reading. I'd like to postpone that till the next, either regularly scheduled or next council meeting. With Ed and Walt both not here, I would like to see that passed with the full council.
I totally agree.
Okay. Resolution 21, 2015, a resolution to accept the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the preliminary subdivision plat for the Liberty Ledges subdivision Phase 4, second reading. Resolution 22, 2015, a resolution to accept the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the preliminary subdivision plat for the Liberty Ledges subdivision Phase 5, second reading. Resolution 23, 2015, a resolution to hire Christopher Reisner as a temporary part-time laborer in the Department of Public Service to be paid at the rate of $9 per hour, first reading. Resolution 24, 2015, a resolution to renew the village equipment maintenance agreement with Cummings Bridgeway, first reading. And that's the maintenance agreement for the generator at the fire department. Resolution 25, 2015, a resolution to accept the resignation from the Reminderville Police Department and revoke the Police Commission of Carrie Lauer and declaring an emergency. And this will go to first reading. Old business.
I just asked, the Charter Commission review people, they're about wrapped up, right?
We got halfway through, we're halfway through the charter right now.
All right, okay, so this
And
will
then-
be
Yeah, and then we'll go through the rest of it. They're reading resident suggestions, concerns right now, and then we still have time to go back and go through everything twice, just to make sure everybody's okay, they understand everything. Any other residents that want to send anything in or come to a meeting, we have to have everything turned in. If they have a proposal that's gonna go on the ballot, we have to have it turned in by August 1st. So we're gonna have their proposal in front of you guys by June 23rd, so that way you can do 3 readings.
What is it, 100 or not? How many days is it?
For the ballot, I just have it.
I didn't know if it was different from.
Oh, different from like if someone's running?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be, there are different times for sure.
I know it's August 1st, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and so I just wanna make sure council has it by June 23rd, so there's enough time
That's
for
both
3
the
readings.
same date as the people,
Yeah.
that's close.
Any other old business?
Do you want to read this now?
You can read it under new business. All right, new business, anyone have anything? I received a letter from Kathy Moyer, who is here tonight, and I'd like to read it into the record. Dear Mr. Moline and council members, as a resident of the Liberty Ledges subdivision, I believe 5 streetlights currently installed at intersections in our neighborhood are not sufficient to provide a safe environment for our families. Our neighborhood is very dark after sunset and early morning, which is especially dangerous for school children and residents during winter, when school buses, construction vehicles, and resident vehicles are driven and or parked on the streets. Therefore, I'm requesting that the Reminderville Village Council consider installing additional streetlights at intervals of every 3 or 4 houses to reduce potential theft and vehicle pedestrian accidents. Would you please present my request to council and advise me of its decision about whether or not to investigate the possibility of installing the streetlights. Sincerely, Kathy Moyer, 3096 Liberty Ledges Drive, Reminderville. And during the council meeting, we can have additional discussion on that. Any other new business?
You can discuss it now if you want, you've already let the cat out of the bag already, so.
Kathy, you can have, the floor is yours right now.
Thank you. I'm learning so much tonight. I have not been to a council meeting here before, and I'm glad that I am here. Now that I have, we definitely we would like to have more streetlights. There is a concern about how dark it is, especially with all the kids in the school buses going through the neighborhood right now. I did drive through Solon and Twinsburg. They have streetlights in most neighborhoods every 2 houses. So I might even change my 3 to 4 to 3 at least. It's a huge safety issue, We also have to worry about theft. Not that that's a huge issue right now in our community, but there have been some problems with things being stolen out of homes under construction in our neighborhood. So I really appreciate it. We can use the same style of streetlights that we have there now that match the other 5. Should not be very difficult to just, determine the style of the streetlight. There have been other complaints or questions from residents. I would like you to consider and let us know if that can be done.
Is it, and I don't wanna, just out of curiosity, is it a brightness issue, or is it really not enough of that?
It's truly not
I mean, if
enough.
there was a different, let's just say a different kind of bulb that was
I
brighter.
think they must be the energy efficient ones. They are the decorative looking streetlights right now. They're not the big ones that have the arm that go out into the street at all. We don't have those. It is just dark, very, very dark in the neighborhood.
Kathy, have you talked to the builder?
That's what I'm
Is
saying.
there anything he can do to help? I mean, I know y'all are paying $400 a year.
Are you
It
saying
is-
the builder or the
The
developer?
developer.
Ryan?
I have called Mr.
Ryan
DiPadova.
DiPadova.
Mario DiPadova is the developer, and he still has control over our HOA right now.
And you will take control once you hit 100% completion? Is that
It's
the way
not
it's set
100,
up?
it's either 85 or 90, and that's another concern of mine. We're getting very close to that number right now. Mr. DiPadova has not consistently enforced his own rules. In the HOA, there are issues about approving any kind of fence in the neighborhood. Some people have not put in lawns even after being there more than a year. Some of the covenants say we can't go ahead and change our door colors to anything we want, and you have to pick up after your dog in the neighborhood. That's, I'm sure every neighborhood has that. None of those have been enforced in our neighborhood, so I'm concerned about going to him and asking him to spend more money. Whose responsibility is it, his as the developer or the city's for a safety issue? I guess I have that question.
The city, and correct me if I'm wrong, does not, other than requiring the builder developer to put in streetlights at the intersection.
That's what we have 5 of them right now.
Correct, we don't do the streetlights running up and down streets. When we spoke last week,
Mhm.
one of the ways we've solved that problem in almost all the developments here in Reminderville is post lights, because that brings the light out closer to the sidewalk, and that lights up an entire street. I would approach Mr. DiPadova. I mean, you guys are paying $400 a year right now in homeowners dues, and other than a little bit of common property where the grass is gonna need to be cut, what else are the plans for that money?
All we receive from him is once a year a budget of how much money his company is making. And I know it is his brother that owns the landscaping company that is once in a while, occasionally mowing the common area. That is all.
And other than the common area up by the 2 models, which will eventually be owned by someone, what other, you have
There's
the
one, are
common
you
right at
familiar
the
with our
entrance.
neighborhood? When you come into our neighborhood, you're on Liberty Ledges Drive, and then if you scoot around to the right, that's Shale Drive. Well, that arc, there's like a semicircle right there, arc, that is common area, and it has a few little pine trees and things
Okay.
like that. We also have some retention ponds, and I'm still trying to learn if those are on private property. I think they may be common areas. There are 2 filled ones right now, and there will be another, is my understanding.
Those are all part of the association, correct, Gene? Yeah. But you don't do a lot of work around those retention ponds, because those are designed to filter water as it goes into there anyways, as far as
And I
groundwater
guess
goes.
my question about the retention ponds is, in the HOA documents, which are 96 pages long, it said that every year the HOA has to submit a report to the safety engineer saying that we inspected it, and we have to inspect them after every big rainfall. And after talking to someone here at the village, they said that as a developer, and he is in charge of the HOA, he does not have to submit those reports, but once the residents take it over, we will have to. And I don't know what the criteria are for inspection and knowing if they're okay or not okay.
Once that happens or you take it over, you'll know what you need to do. And
So who
there'll
will
be
tell
guidance
us?
for you.
I know once last year, they drained one of the ponds completely and did something to it.
All right, well, let's get back to the streetlights. Paul, when we had spoke, you said there's something the homeowners can do as far as assessing the developer?
They may not be able to do it because she just said that they don't have a homeowners association yet that's other than the developer, right?
He's it.
Right, once you have a homeowners association, you can assess your own residents in your development.
There's a lot of chatter on our neighborhood website. People are saying, what's the $400 right now even going to? And as far as the lampposts go, we all have, most of us have big new mortgages. I think there are a lot of first-time homeowners in our neighborhood as well. They are not going to want to pay to have lampposts put in, have all the electrical dug underneath our little walkways to our front porch. They're not going to, that's not going to go over. They're not going to want that extra expense in addition to what we've already all just paid. And those of us that are the first residents in our homes also pay an additional $350 to the HOA just because we are the first people there and we had to help pay for instance, the Liberty Ledges sign. So we've already paid $350 just because we're the first home, and then a year, and then we have our $400 a year. I'm just giving information, I'm just trying to describe what it's like from a resident's point of view. And if you're telling me that the only thing we can do right now is go to Mr. DePadova, we'll get people together and we'll do that.
Kathy, let me talk to the mayor first once he gets back.
If you would, and I'll be glad to bring our documents or sit in on that with you. Whatever I
Let me talk
can
to the
do.
mayor and see what we can do to help you get this
Okay.
taken care of.
I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Let me ask one more question. I know you're all talking about ordinances and things that have been discussed in the past. How, as a new resident, how can I understand and learn what you're all talking about passing and not passing? In the minutes, are the discussions of the different committees in the minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we have online, we have videos of prior council and committee of the whole meetings. You can always go back and watch. We have minutes.
Is that just as of this year with the new website? Because in the past, the minutes were so far behind that I saw posted. Some of them were not
The
current.
committee of the whole and the council meetings, those minutes have been up for the past 3 years.
So the committee of the whole is like, for instance, voting on the reminder,
No, the committee of the whole is what we're in right now. That's where all the discussion is done. As
Okay.
far as legislation, what's going on, all the committee reports are done during committee of the whole. As soon as we're done with this meeting, then we go right into the council meeting.
Oh,
That's
all
where
right.
the voting takes place.
Thank you, that helps a lot.
Yeah, normally residents don't speak during the committee of the whole meeting, but since we got time.
Oh, all right.
No,
I'm
no, no,
sorry.
no, no, I'm
And
just,
there I went on and on.
no, no, well, we allowed you to talk.
Liberty Ledges residents, really, we want to be a neighborhood that works well with village council. We're here. I'm just trying to gather some information, and I appreciate it.
You have my phone number, you can call me anytime.
And you've been great, and Stacy and Terry here at Village Hall have been real helpful too.
And on the website, all of our phone number, contact information, numbers, email addresses, everything's on the website, so please
Thank you.
utilize that.
We will.
Thanks,
you.
Kathy.
This might be a silly question, but so they don't have to have street light or
Lamppost?
lampposts.
I know, I was shocked when I heard that they
Who
didn't have
decides
to do
that? And I'm sure.
The village,
Set me straight, Jane.
the village, a lot of cities, depending on the community, okay? Twinsburg has established a criteria that they want a certain amount of lighting. They pay for that lighting, okay?
Twinsburg does?
Yes, Twinsburg pays for the lighting. There's a program they have with the electric company that X dollars a year, they pay for all the lighting, okay? So they've chosen every 200, 300 foot staggered this community has, yeah, lampposts, this community has chosen the intersections. Now, I'm in Broadview Heights, Broadview Heights also has the same exact criteria. What they do is, they do intersections, like along cul-de-sac intersections, okay? That's all they'll do. There are a number of communities in Broadview Heights that want lighting throughout. And guess what? We assess that lighting every year. It's assessed and put in the property tax. So the city does pay for the lighting in those areas, but the money's being recovered through an assessment. So, you know, there's a big community, just like Twinsburg, they can pay for it or not pay for it. They've said, we're not paying for it, we'll only do them in certain locations.
So I guess
You,
my
the
question
village,
is
have done
not,
the same thing.
I'm not as concerned with who's paying for it, is how is it decided? Because I live in a Ryan community right across the way that has a lamppost in every yard. How is it decided in my development as opposed to Liberty Ledges? I'm just curious how.
You guys are talking about two different things. You're talking
That's
about
what I'm
street
saying.
lighting, he's talking about
A lamppost.
lampposts.
That was decided by the builder, that they're gonna put a lamp post in on each house because there was no lighting. So that was a model that was established by the builder, say, okay, we're gonna put.
So Ryan said in Liberty Ledges, we are not gonna put lampposts in.
Right.
And if you want one, you can't have one.
No, they didn't say that, they didn't offer that as a solution. When Willbrook came in, that decision was made by, at the time, who was the builder?
Kimball.
Kimball Hill.
Kimball
was
and
about
Dries,
three
then
different-
Ryan.
Well, Kimball Hill came in first, and they went with the lamp post, okay? And now, the lighting, because the.
So maybe if Ryan had started it, we wouldn't have lampposts.
Right. In this particular community, that lighting is as per what the village pays for. We pay for those, okay? Any additional lighting would be, it can be installed, but to recover the cost, whether you do an assessment, or if the homeowners association decides they want the extra lights in there, and they wanted to then pay for the cost to energize those through the year. So,
I agree with Mario's point. I mean, if everyone has working lampposts, it does brighten. I mean, you don't need, or I'm sorry, I'm getting confused, but yeah.
You said it right.
You said
You
right,
said it.
lamppost. Yes.
Lamppost. You don't need a light post in every.
so there's not a standard,
Sure,
okay?
okay.
What Twinsburg does was the decision that they made to put them ever stagger them. That's their decision. They pay for all those lights. Broadview Heights, like I said, similar size, similar everything. They said, no, we only do just like the village Reminderville, we do intersections. And there's about a dozen residential communities that they said, well, we want it staggered. They said, okay, then we assess for the lighting and recover the cost.
So let me put something out there, maybe I shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to. This new 2 plats that are on legislation for, this won't help the houses that are already in Liberty Ledges, but can we put a stop to this and now tell them, hey, you've gotta put lampposts in these houses before we approve this? At least get those houses up to every other house in the village.
I mean, council could, put a stop to it. It takes a certain number of
Can we at
votes.
least ask them to, would that be something they?
You're talking about the ones that have already been recommended by planning and zoning?
Correct.
Yeah, you would have
They
to
haven't
turn
been-
down their recommendation
Okay.
and send it back to planning.
If people agree to it, we can do that.
I mean, I don't think it's something that's in our building code,
No.
to require.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
lighting.
Do
I
we
mean,
have
you can
a,
ask them, but I'm just saying, it's not something that Gene, it doesn't have a lot of teeth for Gene, most of the things that are in there, he can enforce, this is something that we would just be asking for. And, the builder wouldn't have to do, it's not in our code book.
well, okay. Well then, I
You know,
guess
they
the
have
first
to-
thing is
they have
what
to
Mario
conform- They have to
suggested.
conform to our minimum
Right.
standards.
What would probably be a simple way to do it, instead of going through.
Well, let's ask them first, like Mario
That's
said,
what I'm
let's talk to
saying.
them.
Maybe we could write a letter
Yeah.
from council that in phase 4, the council would request that Ryan Homes put lampposts with each house that's built. So that would be a request from council to Ryan Homes. That would probably, let's see what they answer.
Yeah, let's try that, and then we'll have the mayor talk to Deep It Over or whatever about the current one, so we go from there. Yeah, we have land court. I don't, we all do.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just, yeah,
Lee, you have them, right? Lampposts?
Crossings doesn't have land courts?
You have lights down on the bubbles
We have street lamps,
throughout, okay.
but our community is such that the only expanse where that can be problematic is Crossings Drive itself. And they are strategically located, I've never pieced them off, but they're few and far between, there aren't a lot of them.
But it takes care of the problem at night.
Well, they're at the
Well,
intersection.
we don't have
Yeah.
sidewalks either,
There's
so we don't need them.
Yeah.
If they had sidewalks, you might have a bunch
Yeah.
of Crossings people in here.
How do you make the residents turn the light on every night?
That's up to your HOA, like,
Ours-
I know
I don't
Aurora
think they should
Shores.
be.
Ours are automatic, there's no way to turn it off unless you turn your whole house off.
Okay,
Yeah, they're on the sensor.
They're on the sensor, yeah,
okay.
they're automatic.
You know, we can't dictate that.
That's
Someone
that's what I
turns on
thought,
and
but if they're on
shuts it off.
sensors,
Yeah, yeah, there's,
But, you know, like I explained, Aurora Shores, part of the deed of restrictions requires a post light to burn from dusk till dawn. And if your lamp's not burning, you get a letter and you can be fined, and they can get ugly sometimes about it, along with other issues that people violate within our allotment. So, I mean, it takes a good, strong HOA to enforce stuff like that. And once you start enforcing it, that can sometimes solve the problem.
but they don't even have to do it, of course. So,
Yeah, you don't.
well, as far as the lamps go. Right.
Hey, any other new business?
Motion to,
Before we adjourn, I just want to point out how much I enjoyed that, because I hear from people on his neighbors and stuff that complain a lot and talk about problems, but you wrote a letter and you come up here and spoke your piece, and you got some buzz going about the topic that was on your mind.
thank you. And that's how we should work.
Mm.
I just can't come up and start yelling at you.
So I'm not in a
I don't know
homeowners
what's going on.
association, and, so I'm not used to all these rules and uniformity. Plus, I live next to Ron G. Wack's old house with that giant beacon. It kind of eliminates all four houses around us, So I found that interesting.
And I will be glad to disseminate information throughout my neighborhood or do whatever needs to be done to try and get some kind of lighting in there. Just let me know. I mean,
And
we'll
the
do
other
it.
thing you can do, you can go back on that webpage you
Nextdoor.com,
guys
I
have,
don't know if you've heard of it.
and let everybody listen to the minutes of this meeting. They can watch it, it's being recorded right now, and they can hear everything you heard tonight, the
Okay.
entire conversation, so they
I
have that
will.
option also.
So do we need, in 48 hours that'll be on, or in a week? Or-
Terry normally puts it on, the next day, I can make sure he has it.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Stacy.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate it.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call on adjournment?
Mr. Sostin?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Now, no, I'm
Yes.
here for the 8 o'clock, please.
Yep.
Okay, I don't want the people, when they say they're walking off,
Mr. Connick?
Yes.
And Mr. Lynn?
Yes. We'll go right into council.
I went dead, can I go get a
Sure.
hard copy?
Don't you have any residents in your HOA besides the developer?
No, the developer has the total
I
control.
don't.
It's in their book, he's got total
It's
control.
96 pages. I think
Hey,
he uses
Kathy.
the same rules for every development he has.
Yeah.
I talked to Mayor, and I think Mark,
Yeah, I got
told
it.
him you guys have 10 more houses.
Yeah, I didn't get any of
It's
that.
different than ours, was it?
That's good, I'm not feeling well, so that's my
Let's
excuse.
talk.
He's a little off his game.